My name is Denise and I'm 55 years old. For most of my life, I've been the one holding everything together. Raising 2 children on my own, working double shifts at the hospital, and still making sure there was dinner on the table every night. I never had the luxury of slowing down, never had space to think about what I might want outside of being a mother, a nurse, or a provider. It wasn't until both of my children left home, my daughter for college, my son for the military, that I began to hear the silence. The silence in the house, in the halls, in my own chest. For the first time in decades, I was alone. One evening, I came home to find a flyer stuck in my mailbox. It was from the community center a few blocks away. They were seeking volunteers for a local art therapy program, organizing supplies, preparing snacks, helping elderly attendees. It sounded simple enough, and for some reason I can't quite explain, I held on to that flyer for a full week before finally walking through their doors. That decision, so small, so seemingly unimportant, would end up changing everything. On my very first day, I was asked to assist with setting up the canvas stands and paints. There weren't many people there yet, just a handful of older women chatting softly, and one woman who sat alone by the window with her back straight and hands folded. I remember noticing her first. Not because of anything she said, but because of how still she was. I greeted her gently, placed a tray of watercolors near her elbow, and smiled. She looked up, her eyes warm but guarded. "You're new," she said. "I am," I replied. "So go easy on me." She chuckled. That was the start. Over the next several weeks, I began to form quiet connections. Not just with her, but with others. I helped with the supplies, served tea, and listened. That was the most powerful part. Listening. One afternoon, a storm rolled in unexpectedly. I was about to leave when the coordinator stopped me. "Would you mind checking on Miss Geraldine?" she asked. "She walks home and the rain's really coming down." I grabbed an umbrella and hurried to the corner where she lived. She invited me in just to wait out the rain, and I accepted. Her home smelled like lavender and old books. She poured 2 cups of tea, and we sat in silence for a while. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Don't let the world convince you that you've done all your living already." It was such a simple sentence, but it cracked something open in me. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on the edge of my bed thinking about all the ways I had stopped being, stopped dreaming, stopped laughing loud, stopped dancing around the kitchen while cooking like I used to. The next day I bought a journal. I started writing down small joys: sunlight on the counter, the smell of bread, a good laugh, a kind word. I rearranged the furniture in my living room. I donated the clothes I hadn't worn in years. I even took a painting class, something I hadn't done since high school. I felt silly at first, standing there with a brush in my hand, but then I saw what I had painted. It was crooked, messy, and absolutely mine. A few weeks later, I found myself hosting a little gathering at my house. Tea, cake, soft music. Just 3 other women from the program. Talk. Really talk. About regrets, about rediscovering joy, about starting over. That night, after everyone had left and the dishes were washed, I looked at myself in the mirror. I saw a woman not defined by age or duty, but by her aliveness. Not because of someone else, but because she finally gave herself permission to start again. So if you're watching this and you think your best days are behind you, don't believe it. You are still here. And you are still becoming.